Hi, birthday number 22s. Welcome to Destiny Digits. Um, your birthday number 22, it's the 22nd day of the month. If you're watching this, it's because you were born on May 22nd, March 22nd, April 22nd. You definitely should also watch birthday number 4 because you are every bit of a 4's energy, but you do have big shoes to fill when you are walking in master number energy. So you're master builders, right? You're doers. 11s are master numbers and they have the vision. 22s are the builders, the creators. You get your hands in, you can really establish things that are magnificent. People follow you, trust you. Um, yes. So you're also very intuitive and logical. You have awareness, you're very practical. All right, we'll get one more and then we'll see what's on the bottom of the deck. So I'm going to kind of pull all the cards and then I'll start the reading just so that I don't have to talk over myself shuffling. Let's get one more. Thank you. All right, let's see what we have now. So, how do you feel about yourself right now? We have the universe rewards motion. What guided action can you take today? So, currently, maybe you could be feeling pushed to do something, pushed to engage, pushed to really get involved with the life that you want to see, with the life or the experience that you're trying to establish. What do you most want? Turn your worry into wonder, surrender to the experience. What possibilities can you dream into reality? And so you're most wanting the life that you're living in and looking at and experiencing to reflect the dreams and the creations that are just dwelling and seated within you. Fears. What are your fears? Well, 22s, you know that you possess something great. You know that greatness is your calling. And sometimes I think it can be daunting because you're afraid of making a mistake. What if everybody watching me sees that I was not able to accomplish something, achieve something, acquire something, go to a certain place? And so a fear of failure is kind of a tricky thing because if you don't try, you'll never know the outcome. But failure is almost required and should be welcomed in order to get to success. You have to learn. And it's in every moment that we have gotten it wrong, we are also getting it right at a future date. It's all happening simultaneously. You're just not able to see the course correction because it will take place ahead. So realize that mistakes are really nothing at all. They're just not. Um, and so it says you cannot make a mistake. There are infinite possibilities available to you. And so this is a room with open doors, open windows, and every square, oval, every cutout represents a possibility. And so whatever you choose is not, it's the action that's most important. It's not what the choice is, it's the action. And so you should be choosing momentum. You should be choosing movement. And where you decide to put that is going to be a success because you are you. Wherever you go, you take you with you, and you are the gem, right? So whatever you choose is what you choose because you have put yourself there to do what you do: create, build, imagine. So what's your advantage? You're going through a great awakening. It says walk in your truth and stand firm in your light. How can you trust yourself more? So this is unknown territory. And when I say that, I mean like the space in which you're living within yourself. This can feel like, what is this? Whenever we're leveling up or growing or ascending, life always looks a little different, right? Our eyes open a little wider. We're able to take in a little more. We can see a little clearer. Um, And so, as you're walking into self and you're understanding what all of this is and what this means and how you fit in, I think you should realize that you are exactly where you're meant to be, right? And you've arrived at this moment because this was the time, right? And there are no mistakes. There are no mistakes. And so take a moment to settle, to embrace, to reflect, to like really soak in whatever it is you're feeling and sensing. Like just plan to just, literally put 6:15, and on your calendar, just write feel, right? And it can last for 10 minutes. 6:15 to 6:25 p.m. I'm just going to feel and schedule that, right? So plan for the uncomfortableness because it's a part of the journey, and all of those unknowns are really, dreams that you can't yet see. But the fact that you're standing in your light, you're walking in your truth, means that everything that is unclear is a reflection of you. So, as real and as authentic and genuine as you show up in your existence, that is exactly what is meeting you on the other side. So, even if you don't see, you can't know, you can always do a temp check and just see where you are, and that will determine what's coming, what you're pulling in. Okay. And so when we're talking about what's opposing you, it says this is not your practice life. Decide. So time and procrastination and lack of choice, lack of engagement, lack of action, lack of making a decision. That is a blockage for you. And so make your choice and act on it. What is your inner voice telling you about the dream in your heart? And so the heart chakra is important here because the one way you can always make the right choice is when we follow the heart, when we really feel what we're being pushed and called to do. And so as we heal, as we purge, as we purify, and kind of bandage those wounds and put ourselves back together after situations, we're really preparing ourselves to be creators, to manifest, right? We're getting ourselves all cleaned up so that we can get back out there and co-create. So what's the outcome according to the situation? We have oneness is the way. How can you show more compassion and acceptance towards those you don't understand? And so one thing about being a master number, but definitely being a 22, is that you are powerful and you are a leader. You have a force that people follow, people are drawn to. And so relationships are significant for connections with others are significant in this space right now. And it's through empathy, and it's through attempting to walk in the shoes of another. It's something about bridging yourself and merging yourself with this reality in every way possible to better understand what this moment is bringing you, right? And that reality can include relationships, connections with people, places, and things. All right, so now I'm just going to be quiet for a moment and pull and then keep going. So first card is Ace of Wands. Awesome. Next we have 9 of Swords, 5 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles, Ace. Wow, 2 aces, 22s. Nice work. Ace of Pentacles, and at the bottom of the deck, 9 of Wands. All right, we got one more deck to pull, and then we'll dive in. Now, the deck that I'm pulling now is the Crystal Healing deck, and I like to read 1 or 2 of these depending on which cards come out, and I typically read them at the end just to really dig in and hear. Oh, look at this. First one out, Abundance. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, 6 of Pentacles. Abundance is clear. Abundance is clear. But you are an achiever, a top performer, 22s. Like, this is literally what you do. We have healing, malachite. The abundance card was citrine. Okay, I'm going to take the ones that fell. Let's see, what do we have here? We have compassion, heart chakra. So we have 2. We talked about the heart chakra here, and how significant healing was. And you have 2 green here and 2 green here. And it's hard to create and manifest when our heart is not. Wow, I didn't realize. Oh, wait, I'm pulling from the. Okay, here they are. These are the 2. Balance. It's hard to create and manifest when our heart is wounded, when it's leaking. Got to patch it up. At the bottom of this deck, we have grounding. All right. All right, here we go. So feeling about ourselves right now. So right now, this is a time to take action. And how beautiful is it that you have the Ace of Wands, which talks about a new moment, a new possibility, right? But the Wands is about passion, charisma, movement, momentum. You have a wand. That wand is your gift. It's your magic. It's your potential, right? And so if you were to have a magic wand in your hand right now, and if you were to wave it in whatever way you decide to wave it, and if you were to say abracadabra or whatever saying you would want to say, when that wand is done doing what it was supposed to do, what would you see? And whatever you can see, whatever you envision for you, in you and around you, is exactly what you need to be moving and acting on and towards. And so this Ace of Wands says, an amazing opportunity. Be bold, courageous, and optimistic. Now is the time to take action. Do what you're passionate about. Right? And so our wand is our passion. And when we use our passion, it's like magic. Right? And so when you sprinkle a little bit of magic on anything, what is the outcome? You have abundance. Right? And so typically I like to read the cards at the bottom. I'm definitely going to read one of the green ones because we're going to read healing because we talked about the significance of the heart chakra and making sure that our heart's not leaking. We need it to be full and not leaking out any goodness. I think abundance and healing may be the ones that we read. So next up, what do we want most at this moment? Well, sometimes we are required to surrender. It says, turn your worry into wonder. When we are so worried about how something is going to turn out, and look, it is amazing. I love when this happens. So look, turn your worry into wonder. But then what is this card here? Nine of Swords. Literally worrying so much that you can't sleep, terrified of what the next day will bring. What will the sunrise bring? Not wanting the night to end because you're afraid of what the sun will reveal the next day. Living in that space. And so when things sync up, and why are we worrying? Because there's still healing to be done. We're trying to create, we're trying to build, we're trying to jump off and live in something new, but our heart is leaking. We have to heal a wound. We have to do inner work in order to give ourselves a full experience and to really jump in. And so this is a moment where we just have to surrender. We have to surrender. We have to feel what we don't want to feel, right? We just have to kind of go through it. And listen, these moments are significant and meaningful. And shame and guilt and regret and sadness and remorse are so human that there should never be shame attached to fear or to worry or abandonment. Like, it's just human. We're human, right? So not every human moment is comfortable. And that's what this Nine of Swords says. This is a moment where this current reality is making us worry. And we're worrying so much that it's hard to dream. It's hard to imagine how this is going to turn out, how anything good can come from this. And why would I think that is my reality? Well, because I've been through some things that have wounded me. Right? And they've wounded me and made me think that that's the only possibility for my existence. And I'm so wounded that it's hard for me to dream and to see anything other than what I just survived and am still living in. Right? And so until we are able to be so happy for the next sunrise, that means that we still need to continue to heal. Right? And healing and dreaming are going hand in hand. So what I'm saying is, as we heal, let's dream. And so think of a painful moment. Think of something that you've been through and replace that with a dream, right? And so when we think of maybe a relationship that we went through, think of an experience that really defeated you in some way. Think of that experience. And then think of what you would have dreamed for yourself in the ideal situation. Not necessarily with that person, but just what would an experience feel like that you could have dreamed of? If that one was an experience of horror, what would you dream for self? Right? And so it's almost like you can heal and dream at the same time when you find that painful moment and then replace it with a dream that you want to see in your future, right? And so turn your worry into wonder. I'm worried because this is what I experienced, but I wonder what it would be like if this is what I'll go through in my future, you know? And so it's healing and dreaming at the same time, but it's not being apologetic for going through the pain and saying like, I just need a minute, right? Always acknowledge and affirm because it's human, right? It's literally what we're here to do. And at some point we're all doing it. And so the current fears are like, listen, I know what I just went through and I'm afraid and I just feel like I could possibly make a mistake. Right. And sometimes when we can only focus on the negative, we don't get to see the possibilities of this moment. Right. And so this is when we have compassion here. And compassion is saying that we meet our darkest moments with love. So when we look back, when we think about these cups in front of us, it's about applying love to the situation, right? It's applying understanding. It's bringing forgiveness. It's trying to bring balance to what just is baffling emotionally. And so there are infinite possibilities available to you, but unless you turn around and move on from what was, you'll never see them. Can you imagine when every dream that you imagine is there, but you don't know it because you're facing the wrong direction? Right? So 5 of Cups says focusing on the negative, things not turning out the way you anticipated, forgiveness of self or others. Everything happens for a reason. Look at the hidden blessings. And so as we're healing, it's important to be compassionate with self and others, right? Don't be harsh, don't be unforgiving, don't beat up yourself. Don't be cruel in how you reflect and categorize these moments that you've been through in life. Like don't do that, right? And sometimes 4s, I'm just going to say, and I call you 4s because when reduced, you are the energy of 4s. And sometimes 4s can be a little inflexible and demanding, right? And there's a certain level of control that is required when you are great, right? You don't get great by accident. And so 4s and 22s, the builders, there are tools that you need, and you know that there are things that you must have in order to do what you are here to do. You know that. And so sometimes when things go wrong, it's just like, are you kidding me? You know? And we can become overly stressed. And so meet those moments with compassion for self, compassion for others, and realize that this moment was vital. The opposite of this moment is happening at another time, right? So learn what's needed because simultaneously at another time in this path, this opportunity presents again, but it goes a lot differently. Your current advantage is the fact that you're going through a great awakening and you're walking in your truth. We have 6 of Pentacles. It says the good you do comes back to you. And we have balance. 6 of Pentacles is a card of balance, and that's the exact card you have under it. So we have many synchronicities. I love it. I love it, love it. All right. So the good you do comes back to you, an unexpected inflow of abundance. And you've got abundance over here. That was your first card. Borrowing wisely or paying off a debt. Sharing your wealth with others less fortunate. And so there are going to be moments when life just seems to click. Things are going to seem to come into balance. Things are going to flow. And if you're having trouble trusting in the choices that you've made up until now, when this balance starts to really reflect and materialize, that will almost be confirmation like, I'm in the right place. You know, one thing will happen, 2 things will happen, 3 things. And so you have to be looking to know that this moment is really the moment you were supposed to be walking in order to trust yourself more. You can't be doubting and looking for all the things that are wrong. We have to be looking for the things that are right to convince us that this is actually where I'm supposed to be, walking in my truth, walking in my light, being firm, right? This is this great awakening. Now, if we're not open to that experience, if we're out of balance, we will not be able to see what is in front of us, right? And so look for all the good that you've done to return to you in the future. So don't worry. Remember, it's like sometimes situations that we're in are not returning our value to us, but that investment that we put was real. It's just not really coming back from those people, places, or things. It's just coming back later at a different time in another way, not the way that we thought it would, right? And so we have to heal from all of that and learn what was necessary. And when you awaken, that is what restores life. That is what brings this back to you. But it is acting also as a blockage if you are unable to see what this really is, right? And so the outcome is that when you open up, when you restore balance, I feel like I'm going to read balance too. Hang around if you want to hear that. So the outcome of this situation is the fact that you at some point make a decision. You've made a decision because you're unafraid. You know who you are. You know your truth, and you trust in where you're going and leading yourself to. You realize that your inner voice is pushing you somewhere. We have an Ace of Pentacle, and that's what I'm saying. When you take two steps, the universe takes two steps. And so as you walk in you, the most real version of you, you start to attract and bring things in your direction. And as a 22, you are here to do great things. So don't be surprised when you start manifesting things with ease. We have a windfall of abundance, wise counsel or good fortune, an exciting career opportunity, a lucrative contract, significant purchases like a home or vehicle. And then we have healer. And so you have healed self. You have healed yourself. And once you have repaired and patched the leaky hole, once you have balanced and really made peace with what was by meeting it with compassion, listen, things take off. So first, healing has to come to the healer. When you accept the healing, you morph into this healer who is just like this magnet for abundance. We have grounding. And so 4s and 22s, grounding is where you're practical, you're builders, you're logical, right? And so you need to feel grounded in all ways. Your environment has to feed you, your relationships, your emotional life, your diet. It's really about pulling yourself into this experience, sitting outside, making time to just do nothing in nature, and really connecting with you at your core. And sometimes doing nothing can actually be doing everything, right? I think you're learning. We have 9 of Wands here. It says, protect what you have created. Be prepared. Never give up. Ask your angels for help. Environmental activism and animal rights. And so this is acknowledgement that you have been through something, but it has strengthened you, right? And now that you're walking in this new space, I think you no longer feel fear. You'll no longer need to wallow in all the things that have gone wrong because you trust and know that it's going to go right elsewhere, right? So this is always being prepared no matter what the obstacle is. Protecting yourself, protecting your creations, realizing that what you have and what you are establishing is truly valuable. And so those are the outcomes. We've been through something, but it has really groomed you, right? And so it has also pulled you down into this earthly experience and helped you get on path with what you are here to do. And ultimately, 22s, oneness is the way. How can you show more compassion and acceptance toward those you don't understand? And so what are you building? What are you creating? You know, nothing that we're doing here on earth is for us. There's something that is going to connect and mend and bridge you with others and others with you through some creative adventure, through something that you're doing. All right, 22s, I'm hoping that this reading was helpful and beneficial for you. Thank you so much for stopping by, and take care.